So this is the Lexus RX, a Japanese premium mid-size luxury crossover, which competes against German offerings such as the Audi Q5, BMW X5, and Mercedes-Benz GLE. This is the 2020 model, fourth generation, which was produced between 2015 to 2022. With the Lexus, it may not be as engaging to drive as the German competitors, but its key strong point is reliability. This is not going to be a comparison video. We are just going to discuss in-depthly about this Japanese luxury crossover. So tighten your belts and welcome to iCave Auto Reviews. As always, if you find this content helpful, please do consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars as well as bikes. Welcome. Straight away, let's begin with the engine options. There are three main. The first one is a 2000cc 8AR FTS turbo, which is found in the RX 200T. But do take note of this. In 2018, the RX 200T was renamed to RX 300 but still had the same 2000cc turbo charged engine. This option comes exclusively paired to a 6-speed automatic, and all-wheel drive is optional. So some variants of this engine come standard as front-wheel drive, while others come as all-wheel drive. The engine produces around 235 horsepower, which is decent, not exactly very powerful, but decent enough. Remember, this is a heavy mid-size crossover SUV, so 235 horsepower isn't exactly outrageously powerful considering the power to weight ratio. The second option is the 3500 V6 2GR FKS, found exclusively in the RX 350. This engine comes with an 8-speed automatic, and again all-wheel drive is optional. Power-wise, it's much better, churning around 295 horsepower. Even in terms of reliability, it's better than the turbo option. It's a big naturally aspirated V6 engine, which is very smooth in terms of power delivery. And as always, a naturally aspirated engine is more reliable compared to engines with forced induction. By forced induction, I mean turbo or even superchargers. But that's not to say that the turbo option is very unreliable. No, it's actually good and can last with proper maintenance. But generally, in the long run, the V6 is better in terms of reliability. The last option is the 2GR FXS, which is still a 3500cc V6, but now in hybrid configuration, exclusively found in the RX 450h. The transmission option is an ECVT, and this RX 450h comes standard with all-wheel drive. Now, instead of a diff, there's an independent rear 50 kilowatt permanent magnetic electric motor that drives the rear wheels, and the system only activates the rear wheels on slippery surfaces once it detects wheel slippage. In terms of power, the combined power output is around 308 horsepower. This particular option is the most powerful, yet also the most efficient. But of course, being a hybrid, it's a complicated setup, which can be insanely expensive if it fails. But the good thing is that Toyota's hybrid technology is a masterpiece, very reliable. But again, that is not to say that things can never go wrong. It's only that chances are very slim. As for the engine oil, what is recommended is SAE 0W20, that is fully synthetic oil, or an alternative such as the Mobile One or Castrol. Then as for the ATF, what is recommended is genuine Toyota ATF WS. Now, this being an expensive crossover, just stick to what is recommended. In terms of reliability, the very best one among the three is the 3500 V6 non-hybrid. The other two are good, but the non-hybrid V6 is excellent. But how much fuel does it consume? The turbo option and the V6 consume between 8 to around 10 kilometers per liter in the city or in traffic. Then on the highway, between 11 to around 13ish kilometers per liter. And as for the hybrid, it does very well in the city and traffic, around 15 kilometers per liter. Then on the highway, between 12 to about 14 kilometers per liter. That's quite good considering it's a behemoth of an engine. The fuel tank capacity is 72 liters, but the hybrid gets a slightly smaller 65-liter tank. Suspension-wise, it gets McPherson struts at the front and a double wishbone setup at the back. It's a setup that is tuned for high levels of comfort, but the F Sports variant or F Sports trim features an adaptive variable suspension with electronically controlled damper adjustments. That particular trim level offers a bit of a firmer or maybe even stiffer ride, and it's also a sportier ride compared to the other trim levels. Stopping power is good enough, courtesy of ventilated discs at both the front and the back. Then in terms of the ground clearance, it measures in at around 189 millimeters, good enough for a crossover. Here there's nothing like modifying the suspension to slightly increase the ground clearance. It's good enough. The carb weight measures between 1,915 to around 2,210 kgs, with the hybrid variant being the heaviest. In terms of safety, this crossover is drenched in active driver assist safety features. Let's start with the standard features across the board. It gets 10 airbags, active headrests, ABS, EBD, traction control, lane departure alert, dynamic radar cruise control, intelligent high beams, and smart stop technology, which automatically reduces the engine power if the brakes and accelerator are pressed simultaneously in emergency situations. The optional features, depending on the trim level, are blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alert, and a 360 degrees parking camera. So generally, it's a very safe crossover. Now, how about the price? Expect to pay anywhere between 4.7 million shillings to around 6.2 million shillings, depending on the model year, the trim level, the mileage, and the condition. Before we wrap up by discussing the pros and cons, let's quickly delve into its exterior and interior. Now, there's no doubt that it looks sleek, but I'm not so sure about that grille. It's just too huge. It's in fact polarizing. Some people may like it, others not so much, but do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. The side and rear views are pretty good, but the front, I'm personally not a huge fan of it. The interior is something else though. It's just excellent. The fit and finish is top notch. The quality of materials is good. It's just a very nice place to be in. It oozes luxury. Space is also good at both the front and back rows. I should also mention that there's a trim level by the name RX450HL. That L means it's extended in length by 4.3 inches to incorporate a modest power folding third row. But space there isn't all that good. It's primarily meant for kids. Now on to the pros and cons, beginning with the pros. This crossover is very premium, very reliable, especially compared to the German competitors. It's comfortable, it's safe, and decently efficient, especially the hybrid. The cons are few, just four. The first one is the complex hybrid mechanical systems that can be very costly if they fail, though chances are slim. Secondly, in the RX200T or RX300 with the turbo option, the turbo may be prone to failure. It's not a common issue, but it can occur, and especially if you skimp on the maintenance. Another issue is oil consumption, and this mostly happens at very high mileages. You can either just live with the car like that and keep topping up the oil, or alternatively just replace the piston rings. The last issue is a minor one, and it has to do with the cramped third row in the extended L variants. So with all that said, is this premium midsize luxury crossover worth buying compared to its German counterparts? Absolutely. Why? Simply because it's more reliable, affordable to maintain compared to the competitors, and also has a very good resale value. Think of this car as a premium luxury crossover with the reliability of a Toyota. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, if you have any inquiries, feel free to reach me via WhatsApp or email. That's it for today. Stay safe, ride and drive safe, and see you in the next one. But please, before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.